Today I'm going to be talking to you about getting 180,000 yearly organic visitors in under 12 months. I actually did it in a little under 10 months, so I'm hedging to say under 12. Also, your mileage may vary. Onward. So I'm Josh Doody. My core business is around a book that I wrote called Fearless Salary Negotiation. Hello, you can find me on Twitter. I'm at Josh Doody. And as I built a business around fearless salary negotiation, I found that I couldn't just write a book and build courses and all that fun stuff. I also had to find people to sell those things to. And so, to that end, I built a site, fearlessSalaryNegotiation.com, and we're going to use my site, fearlessSalaryNegotiation.com, as a case study so that I can show you what I did to get started with basic SEO to increase organic traffic to my site. I see organic traffic as sort of a lagging indicator of most other kinds of traffic. So in my opinion, if organic traffic is trending up, you're probably doing a lot of other things right as well. So that's why I focus on organic traffic. You may have other channels that are better for you, but I like this one because it tells me that I'm doing the right things overall. So to give you some perspective before I kind of share these three tactics with you, this is my site's organic weekly traffic the first quarter of 2016. So January, February, March 2016, two things to point out here. You can see that the y-axis, or the number of weekly visits, is a whopping 40. This is a brand new site that I set up a few months before. And the total organic visitors to my site at the time was 225 people in 3 months total. Okay, so then if you go over to the right side, we're going to continue, and we're going to start now in April of 2016, which happens to coincide with, yes, MicroConf 2016, and a conversation that I had with Patrick McKenzie. Patrick said, you need to get more traffic. So I got more traffic, and the end. So now the y-axis is up at 5,000 from 40, and you can see I'm getting 225 visitors, not in 3 months, but about every 6 hours. So this is my sort of social proof. This is what I did with fearlessSalaryNegotiation.com. There's no black hat stuff here. There are no big breaks here. If anything, you can see there's a dip around the holidays because I guess people are maybe less focused on salary stuff around the holidays. So that's a nice lesson learned for me. Okay, so that's my site. And now I'm going to share 3 general tactics, things that you can do right now to start building organic traffic to your site. As you try to get more traffic and hopefully find more customers and more visitors, more trials, more email opt-ins, whatever it is that you need. The first thing that you have to do is you have to create content. Google can't find you and people can't find you if you don't have anything to find. So obviously you're going to want to create content, but how do you create content that is useful and that will be appreciated by Google and by the people who find your site? First, you need to write for specific keywords. So if you have an idea and you think it's going to be a great idea and you've got this 4,000 word article, content marketing that you're going to create and you're going to do videos around it, you need to stop, take your idea, put it into a keyword planner of some kind, and find the keywords that people are using to describe the thing that you want to write about. So you don't want to just write about the words that you have in your mind for your topic. You have to put those words into something like Google's keyword planner, which is beyond the scope of this talk, and figure out what the keywords are that people actually use to search for the topic that you're writing about. Then you have your keywords that you can write about, and you can begin creating content that Google will index and crawl and send people to when they're searching for those keywords that you're now writing about because you've changed to the keywords that people are actually searching for. You want to emphasize the keywords in 3 different places on your site. This is sort of on-page stuff. It's pretty easy. You can do it right now. The first place is the slug or the URL of the content that you're creating. So an easy example for this would be, let's say I had the site acmecorp.com, and I had to write an article on dishwasher repair. The slug would be acmecorp.com/dishwasher repair. So you want to start with keywords in the slug or the URL. That's good for Google. It's good for people to understand what they're clicking through to, and it helps people to find your content. The next place that you want to emphasize your keywords is in your page's title. I'm specifically talking about the title tags, what's in between them in HTML land. If you're using WordPress and a bunch of other site generators, then you don't have to worry too much about where to put this, but just make sure that the title, in quotes, has the keywords that you're trying to emphasize. This could be the headline on your page. It might be, it might not be. This is the actual thing in the title tags, and it's what Google uses to show people your search results in the little blue underlined text that's on the search results pages. And so you want to make sure that it reflects what you wrote about and that it entices people to click through to read your content. And then the last place that you want to emphasize the keywords is above the fold, which is above the fold is what you see when you load the page for the first time. It's usually, 10 lines of text or something like that, depending on your device. Make sure that you're using the keywords that you found in your research above the fold so that, again, Google can crawl it and find those keywords and say, yes, this is a page on a topic that I want to send people to. So slug, title, and above the fold are the three places to emphasize the keywords that you found doing your research before you started writing your article. As you build your article, you can then do these three things. This is an example from fearlesssalarynegotiation.com. Up top, you can see in very small font, the slug is fearlesssalarynegotiation.com/salary negotiation email sample, which doesn't sound like great English, but it turns out that's what people are searching for. So I created this page for that keyword combo. At the very bottom, you can see the title is, again, salary negotiation email sample. And that's because that's going to show in the search results. And then above the fold, I've highlighted in pink all the variations on the keywords that I found that I'm targeting for this page so that you can see that a lot of that copy is keywords that I'm targeting. But it also reads like English. So it's important to emphasize the keywords above the fold, but also to make it readable by human people and also Google. And this is what that looks like in the search results. So you can see it's salary negotiation email sample. The title and the slug are kind of highlighted there at the bottom. So this all trickles through. You're writing for specific keywords, Google indexes it, and then people search for that term, and they find the page that you're trying to rank for. Okay, next up is internal link structure. This is important because it basically is the way that Google is actually able to traverse your site and find the stuff that's on your site. So before I go forward, you have to make your site crawlable. And what I mean by that is I want to use an analogy, which is that imagine that you no longer have access to a keyboard and all you have is a mouse or your finger on a mobile device. And you're trying to navigate a site. All you can do is pretty much scroll, and you can click links and go to other pages, and you can scroll and you can click links. That's how Google crawls your site. So don't assume that Google's going to start punching in URLs to its web browser and finding your web pages. It's going to literally go to a page, like maybe your home page, and it's going to read some stuff and index those words and the topics, the content that's above the fold, your slug, and all that good stuff, and then it's going to find a link, and it's going to click it. And it's going to scroll, and it's going to index, and it's going to find a link, and it's going to click it. And so it kind of just tumbles its way down your site, stumbling into pages, indexing them, and putting it in its little reservoir of information, and then moving on to another one. So you want to make sure that Google can do that without having to type in URLs, because if you put orphan pages out there that can't be accessed this way on your site, it may never find them, and even if it does, you're telling Google it's not that important because I'm not even making it accessible for Google. So a way that you can do this is this is the footer on my site, and you can see that I have recent articles linked there. So I'm going to walk you through what happens when Google scrolls down to my footer, which I assume most humans don't get down there, but Google will. And Google clicks on recent articles, and what it finds is an index of recent articles. These are all kind of long reads that I've written with different titles and all that good stuff, but the key is it's just a page of links that it can click to find other pages on my site that I want it to find easily. So if it clicks that first read more link, now it's on an article about scripts, and it can read this and index it and find it. And then it will find, you can see links at the bottom there. It can click the link in the upper left-hand corner and get back to my home page, so it's now crawling my site without using URLs, it's only clicking. Or it can go down to the footer that you saw earlier and kind of start that process all over again. So I'm just allowing Google to easily navigate my site, index stuff, click links, find more stuff, and index it and keep clicking links. That's what you want to build. So make sure that your content is accessible in this way to Google. You also want to emphasize important pages on your site. So again, back to my footer, you can see I literally call, that was weird. I literally call this popular pages. These are my most popular pages, and I want to make sure that Google knows I think these are popular. And the way I'm telling you that, Google, is 150 pages on my site have links to these pages, so you should pay attention and make sure you click through a lot and get a lot of experience there. I do not recommend that you dump every single URL on your site into your footer. Actually emphasize popular pages, and Google will sort of respect that. It will crawl them. It will recognize that you're pointing it frequently to those pages and hopefully rank them higher, and at least it knows that you're signaling this is important stuff on my site. And the last thing that you want to do is use keywords in your anchor text. In other words, what you want to do is make sure that the words you use in the links that I'm talking about actually reflect the keywords that you found in the research that you did earlier. So for example, in my footer again, salary negotiation email sample, our old friend from earlier, which happens to be the most popular page on my site. Again, I'm not using great English here, but this is what Google wants to see, and this is what the people want, so that's what I give them. So make sure you're emphasizing the keywords in the links themselves. This is also true when you're building inbound links. So the last thing that you want to do, once you've actually identified pages and you've built a site that is easily crawlable, is you also need to tell Google what's important from the outside in. This is the hardest part of my presentation, and that is getting other people to link to your pages on your site. There are two ways that I recommend doing this. This is sort of called building backlinks and all that stuff. But ultimately, you just want to give Google some information that says, hey, other people are linking here too, so maybe this is important stuff. First thing is podcasts. He's not here, but Kai Davis has a lot of great information on this. In just a minute, I'll tell you a link that you can go to on my site where you can read some of Kai Davis's material or link through to it. Guesting on podcasts is really easy. Earlier, Ben was talking about how doing a podcast is easy. Getting on a podcast, even easier, because you can just reach out and say, hey, you interview people, right? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, well, I'm in your area. I have something to talk about. Do you want to have me on your podcast? And they'll say, sure, because they're scrambling to try and find somebody to be on their podcast this week. So reach out to people and get on their podcasts, get backlinks in their show notes, and now you've got links that Google can say, oh, this must be a fun site. I'll go check it out. And then guest post, which is similar to podcasting, but frankly, quite a bit harder and sort of less fun. So you can also do guest posts, which will get you backlinks to your site, not in show notes, but in the content that you're writing yourself. Make sure that you include some links back to some supporting articles on your site, just so that once Google crawls the other site where you're guest posting, it's got evidence that your site is important and it will come back, read those pages, index them, and do the link and scroll dance that I talked about earlier. Okay, so those are my 3 tactics. Write for the right keywords. Internal link structure is very important so Google can crawl your site. And then you want to build inbound links from other sites to let Google know that your site is important and specifically that pages are important. I went really fast here, so if you'd like to get these slides and some references that I have, you can go to joshdoody.com/microconf. There's also a form on there if you want to reach out to me to talk about your site's SEO. And my bread and butter, of course, is salary negotiation coaching. So if you have a day job, and I bet a lot of people in here do, and you'd like to talk about salary negotiation, how to earn more while you're at that day job and build a longer runway so that you can work on your side projects, give me a call. Thanks for your time. I appreciate it.